Hello, this is going to be a new series where I give tips on how to make an object show. This is the first episode of that series, which is called How to Make an Asset, a Good Asset. So you're going to start with choosing a color. You don't want to go too vibrant, but you also don't want to go too dull. For the character I'm trying to draw, I'll do about here. But this is only for the outline. So I would recommend using the shape tool. You can do lines if you're trying to do a different structured character. Circle if you're just doing like a circular character. But I'm going to be using the box tool, and I'm going to be stretching it out and widening it, making it wider here. Then if you want, you can lock that in place. And boom. There, you got your outline. So I like to put my assets in layers. I do one layer for the outline, one layer for just the coloring, really. So usually the outline isn't that hard to make. Sometimes it can be depending on the asset you're actually trying to draw. So I'm going to go with a twinge of blue here. Just a little bit of blue. And now you're just going to want to color in the outline. Don't go too far out. Also, you want to make sure that the color actually fits the outline. So I'm going to actually choose a different color real quick. Alright, so I chose a new color. This works. You want the outline to always be darker than the actual color on the inside, or else you're just going to get something that looks weird, and you wouldn't want that in your show, right? Alright, so I'm just going to color this in real quick, and then we can move on to the next part of the asset. Alright, finished coloring it in. And now, I'm not done with this yet. So what I'm going to do is have some other outlines made. So here, I'm just going to use the color picker tool, go on the outline. Then we're going to go back to shapes. We're going to do a line. I'm going to try to get that straight in the middle. Is that accurate? I don't know. That works. No, that works. Okay, well, I still need to make it the same brush size. Make sure that you try your best to remember the size of your brush, or else you're just going to get a really weird outline if you don't. So there, you can kind of see, I'm pretty sure you might know what object I'm drawing now. But I'm going to also add a little bit more to it. So, I don't know why this was the first object I thought of, but it was. Now you don't want to use the same colored outline, so if you're trying to add other shapes, I wouldn't recommend using that same colored outline. Now, or anything similar, really. So you could like give it a hint of another color to just make it easier for yourself. I'm gonna do it like darkish blue. There. Now a bit darker. Once I choose the color, I'll just come back to this. It's gonna take me a bit. But hey, that's completely normal in asset making. Alright, we are back. I got my color over here. Now we can continue drawing this asset. So now, I'd recommend using the line tool here, like I was doing earlier. Also, I just put a dot there. Okay. You also gotta always make sure that like there's no interferences, because for me sometimes like a tiny dot is on my asset and it just ruins the entire thing. Right after I finish, I realize it, so it's a bit irritating at times. I'd recommend keeping a close eye at your asset at all times, going back and forth to see if it's good or not, if there's anything wrong with it. It's always better to change something right away before trying to make a change at the end. Okay, I made this a bit too tall, see? So I'm gonna redo this. I'll come back to this again. Alright. Okay, now I just did that. It's not perfect, but it's alright. I still have a lot to learn, so. Wait, I don't think I actually specified when every episode will come out. So the series is going to be weekly. It's going to come out every Sunday, one episode every Sunday. Well, I only plan a few episodes for this series, but I have more to learn, so I might do another part of this series with more tips. Only if I learn some valuable information that I can share. I've been drawing assets for about 3 years. My first one was horrible, to say the least. Alright, so I think we got it. Again, not perfect, but that's alright. So now you're gonna want to fill that stuff in. You want a lighter color. You can go back if you want like a more polished look. So I'm gonna go back to cyan here. See, that is very inconsistent shading there, or outlining. Oh, also leave a comment if you want to see a certain topic that you want me to cover, because I am willing to add more episodes of this series. I only have 12 planned right now, so I'd be fine with more. Alright, here we go. We got the base of the asset done. I like to call it the base of the asset. Now, what you're going to want to do next. This is completely optional, but I like to do it with certain objects that I think need it. So, here's what you're going to want to do. So, you really have two options here. For one, you can just shade in that a little bit, I would say about here. Not too much, not too little. Depends on the character. So if you really just shade in a certain amount of parts on the assets, it will still look 3D. But if you want to go above and beyond, here's what I think you should do. So I like to just align the line tool. Okay. And then just like really just expand the asset. Just add more to it. So now you got, oh, hold on. So now you got this part of the asset, which will be the background, or the backside. So I'm gonna finish drawing this outline, and then I'll give the next tip, because if I just did it as I go, this video would be like 20 minutes long. So, bye. Alright, so now you're gonna want to choose the same color as the base of your asset. then you're gonna color in the back side. So, oh, wrong letter. Okay, so I messed up right here. I'm gonna redo this. I'll come back. Alright, just redid it. So now you're just gonna want to fill in that shaded part with the same color as the regular part. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do real quick, but I just need to finish coloring this first. Alright, here we go. Just finished coloring it in, and now I don't know if I'm the only one who used to do this or does this, but I used to just choose another color similar to it and just color it in that way. No, you don't want to do that. Here's my tip on how to shade in your assets and give your assets shine properly. So you're going to want to go pitch black here. Then you're going to mess with this opacity bar and go almost all the way down. Not all the way down, but nearly. So you're going to go probably about here. So you get a good shade color. And you're not just gambling. Alright, so now you're going to want to color in all this. So the only downside to this strategy, in my opinion, is that you're going to have to do it in like one take, since sometimes sometimes the brush will like overlap. It will overlap. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, it is okay if you are like a little messy with it. That's completely fine. You can just erase it. Alright, and now I wouldn't recommend stopping the shading here. If you want, you can. I think it could also work a little better. So you could also like shade a bit here. I'm not using the brush yet. I just want to experiment. A good thing is to like experiment with your assets too. It can be a little time consuming, but it'll work out. So you could do something like that, except don't do it as sloppy as I did right there. But let's just, for the sake of time, let's just say that you do the shine immediately after. Alright, so it's the same case here, except you don't want to do as light of a shine as you do with black, since black's like, for some reason it's like usually more powerful. Like, it's more sensitive than white. I don't know how to explain it. So I would recommend about like here maybe to get like a decent shine. You don't want to be too obnoxious with the shine. I remember some of my old assets were just pure shine. It was just from here to here, base color, shine color. You don't want to do that. You need something simple, but also slightly noticeable. Shade is just... Also, I want to say, shade, all objects will have some sort of shade. Shine, not all objects will have that shade. I'll go over that in a future video. But for now, let's just stick with this. So you're also going to want to do the line. You're going to want to use your line tool. Don't do it as noticeable as shade. I'm going like a bit off sync here with like the color or the line shape. Just trying to make it look a little more convincing. See here, even I forgot my step here. Okay. I'm gonna do this, and then I'll come back. Alright, here we go. Now, I don't think it's bad, but I definitely could have done better. Alright, so I'm gonna go here. On these smaller parts, you're also gonna want to make your brush smaller. Mine's already at 1. You can stick with the same shine, but different materials means different shine. Which is also a topic that I'll go over in that same video. Alright, so you don't want to do like too much shine either. Already went over this, but like you only want a certain pattern of shine. Shade is more important than shine in my opinion. You'll use shade more. So like that, it's not great. That's alright. Never has to be perfect. This is just a tip on like how I think asset, or this is just a tip on like just stuff I have learned really like over the years of asset making that I've experienced. So yeah, my assets still aren't perfect, but like here we go. We got shine, we got shade. That is it. This is how you make an asset, but you also wanna, this is something I like to do. It's better if you grab this layer, you copy it, make sure it's copied, and then you delete it. Then you'll move your outline on top of your coloring and copy it there. So then you get your asset actually like movable. I think it's good, honestly. Not the best, but it's alright. Now you can get your asset to move around in your shows, I guess. Now this applies to any asset. You didn't have to copy me if you did. I used Flip a Clip, as you can see. So this whole series will be based on how to make object shows in Flip a Clip. Alright, I'll see you on episode 2 of this series, how to make a perfectly color balanced cast, next Sunday.